In 2025, LinkedIn cut organic reach by 50%, follower growth dropped by 42%, and most creators saw their numbers completely collapse. But there is actually a group on LinkedIn that grew faster than ever and that benefited from all these algorithm changes if they adopted their LinkedIn playbook. And they were not posting more. They weren't using some secret hack. They just understood that LinkedIn changed the game and they understood how to play that. And let me show you now exactly what changed and what this means for 2026. So let's look into this in a bit more detail. According to Richard van der Blom's algorithm insights, reach is down by 47%, engagement is down by 39%, follower growth is down by 42%. I thought it was a dip at first, but really it's a bloodbath. And this wasn't random, right? LinkedIn deliberately stopped optimizing for reach and started optimizing for relevance. And here's what this actually means. The old LinkedIn rewarded you for going viral. Get big numbers, get shown to more people, and keep going and keep growing. Simple. It's a game that everybody understood, right? Because it was, in a way, predictable. The new LinkedIn asks a different question. It asks, is this content actually useful to the specific people seeing it? And what that does is it turns you from a broadcaster to an expert. It changes the whole system. And you might have noticed that you get, definitely way less reach, but you might get a similar number of engagement or even a better engagement rate in comparison to your reach. Either way, this single shift crushed the people who were playing, the virality game. In the new LinkedIn, experts win. Niche experts win. People that do not need to talk to 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 people, but people that want to talk to the 100 right people. And the good news is this is founders, solopreneurs, and people who want to build their personal brand to support their B2B sales efforts on LinkedIn. So in a way, if played right, you can benefit greatly from this shift. And really, we were able to see two patterns of people that, survived or thrived in the new reality. First of all, the ones that understood the topic focus or the topic fingerprints that LinkedIn now builds. It tracks you consistently and analyzes what you talk about, if that matches your profile and what you're doing. And the algorithm rewards you for picking a lane and staying in it. Creators that bounce between topics, kind of like creators that post inconsistent, it's much harder to build that core audience. Part 2 is consistency. It's commitment over creativity. And I wasn't really surprised by this, but I was surprised that it still held after all these algorithm changes. But, a few months ago, we pulled 6 months of data from the ContentIn users from the Q2, Q3 section. And what we found is that consistent posters gained almost 5,000 followers on average, while inconsistent posters only gained 783. That's in 6 months, and it's using the same tool, the same AI, the same everything. The only difference was consistency and showing up. And really what this means is the winners in 2025 weren't the most creative people. They weren't the best writers. They were the ones who committed to a clear topic and kept posting through the quiet months. I've been thinking a ton about this all year, but really, I think the core of LinkedIn's success hasn't really changed. It is still content, comment, and consistency, or what I like to call the 3 C's. Content, we have to tweak this a little bit because it's not just any content. You cannot produce viral content anymore. but focused content, topic-specific content, a niche where you can build an authority in. Think of it this way. If you can't categorize your post clearly, LinkedIn can't either. So pick your expertise and fucking own it. Keep that in mind for 26. Comments have become a superpower for sure. There's one stat that I found out with my buddy Sabahuddin, and that's if you leave a single comment on somebody else's post, it increases the chance of your next post appearing in their feed by 70%. So in a way, you have some measure of control. Every interaction that you have on LinkedIn biases the algorithm to show your next post to that person. This is why everybody recommends commenting, and why everybody says comment 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after you post, just to give that extra spice into the algorithm. And also, since we introduced comments analytics into ContentIn, what really blew my mind is how many impressions you can get on a single comment. It doesn't even have to be long. It doesn't have to be super, super good. But very often, comments outperform your posts when it comes to reach. And the third one is consistency. And again, the data is undeniable. I talked about this just a minute ago, right? But LinkedIn's algorithm punishes you for disappearing. It rewards for rhythm over bursts, and it rewards showing up over showing off. It doesn't need to be 7 times per week. It can be 3 times per week. The sweet spot usually is 3, 5, or 7. That seems to be like the cadences that are most rewarding. The fun part in all of this is that I believe this is actually great news for founders and solopreneurs and people that run a real business off their personal profile on LinkedIn. Because you don't have time to play the creator game. You can't spend 4 hours a day to craft like the perfect hook and slideshow and whatever. But you absolutely can pick a topic that you are an expert in and you could own it. And it's usually the one topic that you can't stop talking about anyways. You can just feed that into AI and, let AI be your ghostwriter. And then on top of that, you can spend 15 minutes a day commenting on a few relevant posts. And if you have the right system, this is only 15 minutes per day, and it does not turn into a time sink. Most importantly, with all of this, you can commit to a sustainable posting rhythm. And, all of this is why we build what we build in 2025 for ContentIn. It's really anchored around these shifts and these 3 principles. We've introduced the streaks and the daily progress to keep you motivated and keep you getting out that good stuff. We heavily improved and added comments feature to make it super easy for you to comment on your own posts, but also on other people's posts without being sucked in to LinkedIn, just by having dedicated spaces for your own and for other people's posts. And obviously the asynchronous ghostwriter that you can fill in here, right? Writing queue, just stuff ideas into it, come back a couple of days later to pre-written drafts. They're ready for you to just edit and schedule. Makes my life so much easier. And I think there's really no excuse left to not post with this. And the thing is, we're not trying to turn you into a full-time content creator. We are trying to help you build your authority and your personal brand as a founder in 45 minutes per week. And we will double down on this in 2026, because that's what the new LinkedIn rewards. Niche topic expertise, focused interaction, and commenting. Because here's what I think all of this means for 2026. 2025 was the year LinkedIn cleaned house. They crushed engagement hackers, the viral chasers, the people treating the whole thing like a follower game, and they wanted to dial up the quality and the relevance. And 2026 is going the year where this will pay off for people. You understand it, you adapt, you do what you need to do, and where the systems that we built and proved in 2025 will really pay off. If you're watching this and you have been inconsistent in the past, that is fine. Everyone has, I have. But the opportunity right now is actually massive, because in a way you have less competition and it's easier to own one specific topic. And do not be scared of making that topic very, very niche, because the algorithm will find the people that are relevant for your topic over time. And it finally rewards expertise over entertainment. And really, the question isn't whether LinkedIn is broken and the algorithm just LinkedIn works. It's the biggest B2B network in the world. I know no other place where it's so easy to find the right people. LinkedIn wants to reduce spam, which is good, because we're all bored of seeing that crap in our feed, right? Really, the question isn't whether LinkedIn works anymore or not, because it absolutely does. The question is whether you are willing to commit to the new reality and put in the work that is now required. If you found this useful, subscribe. I'll break down LinkedIn strategies like this every single week. And if you're ready to make 2026 the year you finally build your real authority on LinkedIn, I might have something for you, because newsletter subscribers will get a special deal to kick off the new year in the next couple of days. Link to subscribe is in the description. See you on the other side, and see you next week.